Hey guys, this is Shawn Caeiro, and this is my Physical Games with a Purpose quarterly update. In this video, we will go through the overarching motivation behind this project, as well as its progression throughout the past 10 weeks. So let's first look at motivation. In order for a crowdsourcing to be successful, the system must be able to motivate the crowd. This motivation can come from blending the boundary between actions a crowdsourcer would normally perform and actions that benefit the crowdsourced system. This motivation method has been highly studied using gamification and mobile gaming as a framework for low-effort crowdsourcing. Much research has shown the benefit of games with a purpose type crowdsourcing frameworks and how data can easily be collected. However, there are some drawbacks to this type of motivation framework, especially through the limitations and type of data that can be collected. Since such a framework is limited to a screen, it can be difficult for such a system to collect spatially aware data without explicitly asking the user about their environment. Such a system would, or such a ask would no longer be low effort sensing and would make the user less inclined to use the system. In order to make such an ask more low effort, the system would have to be able to sense spatial data through a person's interactions with the game. As a solution to trying to create this framework for collecting spatial data, we look at games already there that are locationally aware, such as geocaching, which is essentially a hide-and-seek game played across the entire world. In this type of locationally aware setting, people very clearly interact with their environment. The location around them is the setting for the game, and that creates this very pervasive, very immersive environment for this gameplay. So here's the question. What happens if we were to combine locationally aware pervasive gaming into a crowdsourcing framework? Would we be able to collect spatially aware data with low effort from the user? This train of thought formed the basis for my research questions. So basically what we ask is how can pervasive gaming be used to crowdsource worldwide data? And what factors of pervasive gaming influence the success of such a system? So basically we're asking, is it possible to crowdsource spatially aware data using these immersive gaming techniques that we find both in prior related work and maybe uniquely formed throughout this quarter? And if so, how do we set up the framework so that these crowds are motivated to interact with the system? To answer these questions, we look a lot at the related work in this field, both initially at the beginning of this quarter and as the quarter progressed. Previous research in Games with a Purpose laid the foundation for how physical games with a purpose can be constructed, where much of the research talks about how people can collectively solve large-scale computational problems. One of the overarching takeaways of past research in Games with a Purpose is that is the motivation for playing these games. People will play such games to be entertained, but not to solve a problem, no matter how well-intentioned this objective may be. So basically, you always have to find a motivation for your game. Beyond past crowdsourcing research, we also looked more specifically into best practices in game design. This happened more towards the middle and end of the quarter. Specifically, this Art of Game Design, A Book of Lenses book. This book had a lot of value in describing how to design an experience and best practices for motivating a user. A lot of the concepts used in this book are illustrated throughout the iterations in this PGAP application. Finally, we looked at locationally aware games already on the market, such as Google Ingress. So specifically, Google Ingress has tons and tons of users who are playing this very immersive gaming technology, and the overarching outcome for Google specifically is they're getting all of this location data and 3D mappings of landmarks and famous features throughout the world. So we wanted to look at exactly what makes them successful and why exactly there is such a following. So from this related work, we created this general architecture for how we wanted such a pervasive gaming crowdsourcing framework to look like. We would have many users, all of whom are contributing spatial data throughout their gameplay. This data is then stored for whatever use or research might need it for, but more importantly, the spatial data can then be fed back into the system to create a more immersive gameplay world and hypothetically create a better environment where even more spatial data can be collected. So that's our system, and now we are going to look at the tech that's implemented this system. So throughout this quarter, this PGAP application went through many iterations, but these iterations could probably be classified into two different prototypes, the timed play and the free play. So in the first half of the quarter, most of the iterations focused on this very time-based type of play, where a user had to complete objectives as the clock counted down. These objectives were simple mini tasks that could be completed in less than 10 seconds for the user to complete. Uh, while no formal user study was done this quarter, uh, throughout the quarter, very informal user tests were done with the different iterations of the app. Generally, these tasks were done on walks of class, which could be a user group for this application. Uh, so from the user tests of these first iterations, many concerns came up repeatedly. One overall concern was the motivation behind playing the tasks. While there was nothing innately difficult with playing the tasks, there was no incentive for them to specifically play these types of tasks. Moreover, some of the tasks may have been too easy, and thus seemed more trivial and repetitive, rather than challenging and fun, which was what would be necessary in order to have a crowdsourcing system work successfully. So using the feedback from these tests, we transformed our prototype into a more free play based game with an overarching theme. So in this prototype, we have this game, Bella Says. So the goal of this game is to play throughout the day to earn as many carrots as you can, so that your baby bunny Bella, never goes hungry. In these iterations, the time aspect was eliminated, but the story continually grew. Each task was now related to an overall theme and carried throughout play from one session to the next. Here's a demo of the most recent physical games with a purpose application. We have this overarching theme of Bella Says, where Bella is your friend rabbit, and she wants you to get as many carrots for her as you can because she doesn't want to go hungry. So you can earn carrots by playing tasks. So let's try playing some tasks right now. Here's your first task. Bella says, go visit her owl friend who happens to live in the tree right by you. Can you go knock on his tree door and see if he's at home? He has something very important for you. So what a person would do is they would go to the nearest tree to them, and they would knock on the tree with their phone, and when they do, they see that they've been rewarded with 5 carrots, and they have this little blurb of Mr. Tumbits, who's also in the tree. So let's go find some more carrots. Bella says she wants to play a game of I Spy. She bets that you can't find where this photo was taken, and click ready when you do find this location, if you can. So the application sees that I'm back at home and I'm near this Madison Meadows Park. So I would theoretically go to this location, and when I do, I would click I'm ready, and depending on how close I am, I would earn different amounts of carrots. And it'd be, whoa, Bella's impressed with your I Spy skills. So let's find some more carrots. Bella says she's only, and you take a picture of the largest crowd of people near you. I'm still at home, so I'll take a picture of my Furby that I found. It's not mine, but let's use this photo. Share the wealth and feed these people carrots. Yum, 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 yum. Lots of carrots. So you get this another little blurb. You've earned more carrots for Bella, and we can find even more carrots. The games go on and on. There's a treasure map. Can use the scanner to see if you can find any carrots. Let's say I've found a location that I like, and I click I'm ready. I've earned 4 carrots, and it goes on and on and on. Let's take a bunny nap. We go back to the home page, and you can kind of see how this has iterated over the past 10 weeks. So with the couple iterations we had with the second prototype, we had a couple user tests that were very informal, but what we got from that feedback was that generally people did enjoy this overarching theme of having your progress have some sort of effect on the progress you have in the future, and having more immersive games where they know the world around you was very beneficial in creating motivation. However, there were some feedback concerns, such as what creates this initial motivation, how does someone initially want to play the game, and also how hand guided should the application be? Should instruction be very clear, or should it be left up to the user to try to explore and figure out what they're supposed to do? And moreover, as an addition, they wanted to see how the game can be more immersive, whether that's through more collaboration or more interactions with the environment. Now, if we have this all in a summary of the findings we found, we see that physical games with a purpose motivations are very, very directly related to gaming motivations. You need key aspects such as measures of progress, which can be done through competition, collaboration, saved states, and also having an overarching theme is very, very important. Uh, we found that knowledge of the world creates game mechanics that have a better experience for the user than just having normal game motivations. And what we see is that the motivation of the user to play a game is very closely related to the specific game mechanics. If we look at some of the limitations of this application, we see that there are some capabilities of technical sensing that are very limited. There's only so much you can capture through the iOS technology, so trying to work around that is a limitation that we have. Moreover, we still have limitations in the amount of collaboration and feedback loop data sensing that we can do so far. So what to do next is we want to have improvements to the game dynamics and mechanics. We want to have an architecture for stronger feedback into the game environment, and we want to create more collaboration, more immersive interactivity in the game mechanics, and most importantly, when we want to do a formal user study, probably early next quarter. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope to talk about it next quarter as well.